Welcome everyone to a brand new explainer. Today we're looking at something that is honestly, truly fascinating. We're zooming in on one very specific date, June 26th, 2026. Have you ever just stared at a calendar and been totally amazed by the sheer wild variety of human experience packed into a single 24-hour window? Well, this specific date is a literal, perfect snapshot of our world. We're going to see it swing from these deeply serious, incredibly heavy global mandates right over to a wonderfully lighthearted, cozy cultural tradition. It is quite the ride, so let's unpack the source material and see what's going on here.
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly makes June 26, 2026 so unforgettable? We're taking a deep dive into this specific Friday in the future because it somehow holds completely different truths at the exact same time. It's like a giant puzzle. On one hand, we've got a day of massive global significance. We're talking spotlighting absolutely critical issues of human rights and international health. And then, on the other hand, it's a day that celebrates the simple, sweet comforts of a highly localized culinary tradition. It's quite the contrast. So let's break down the sources and see exactly what is on the schedule for us. First up, we're taking a global perspective, solemn and critical observances. Before we get to the cultural celebrations, we absolutely have to acknowledge two incredibly serious, critical, worldwide initiatives that fall on this exact date. Understanding these two mandates is really key to understanding the full, complex reality of this day. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer global scale of this first one. June 26th is recognized worldwide as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, which, as our source notes, is commonly just referred to as World Drug Day. This isn't just a minor date. This is a massive, coordinated international mobilization. It's designed to bring entire countries, local communities, and everyday individuals together to tackle a really multifaceted health and justice crisis that is impacting pretty much every single corner of our globe. And our source text provides a very specific, grounded definition for this observance. It states that the goal is, and I quote, raising awareness about the major problem that illicit drugs represent to society. I actually want us to pause and focus on those exact words for a second. Major problem, illicit drugs. You know, the language used here definitely doesn't shy away from the heavy societal weight of this issue, does it? It really emphasizes the critical need for global awareness. It's about looking at the very real day-to-day ways communities and societies are impacted by a deeply entrenched challenge.
Moving right along from one critical global challenge to another, we transition to the second serious observance, sharing this exact same date, the International Day in Support of Victims of Torture. This is an absolutely vital human rights issue that really demands our undivided attention and, of course, our utmost respect. We're looking at a day entirely dedicated to acknowledging victims and reaffirming a very firm, unwavering global commitment to basic human rights.
So, the crucial point is how the source material specifically defines this. It calls it a solemn day to speak out against the crime of torture. Notice that specific instruction embedded right there in the definition. It reminds us that this is a solemn day meant for actively speaking out. It's definitely not a passive observance where we just nod and move on. It is an active, urgent call to the international community to use their voices, to advocate for human dignity, and to stand firmly against a horrific crime. Okay. Let's see how this builds our understanding of June 26th as a whole. We've got these two heavy global mandates sitting right side by side, raising awareness on illicit drug problems and speaking out against the crime of torture. It's honestly mind-blowing to think about how these heavy, contrasting facets of human rights and public health share the exact same 24-hour spotlight. It's just a really powerful reminder of the ongoing, serious work required on a global scale.
But, and here is where things take a massive swing, literally sharing the very same 24 hours, we see a dramatic shift from solemn global awareness right over to a sweet, localized cultural celebration. I mean, talk about emotional whiplash, right? After navigating two profoundly heavy, solemn mandates for global awareness, the calendar just simultaneously makes room for both the deeply serious and the wonderfully joyous.
And this brilliantly illustrates the lighter side of the human experience. Because guess what? June 26th is also International Cream Tea Day. That's right. While major international bodies are out there coordinating massive global health campaigns, local bakeries and everyday homes are busy preparing for this wonderful, hyper-focused, and frankly delicious observance. It's amazing that they share the exact same calendar square. Our source material specifically defines this observance as celebrating the British tradition. That's what it's all about. It is entirely dedicated to a very specific, much-loved British culinary custom. And you know, Taking a moment to indulge in a comforting cultural staple provides such a fascinating, almost jarring juxtaposition to the rest of the day's heavy agenda. It's just a great testament to how culture, comfort, and joy are also recognized and celebrated on the international stage. Now, if we're going to understand this tradition based on the text, we absolutely must treat it with the structured respect it deserves. According to the source material, there are exact non-negotiable components to the perfect cream tea. Step 1, scones. The foundational baked good. You got to have the base. Step 2, clotted cream. Step 3, jam. You literally cannot have International Cream Tea Day without these 3 exact items. Now, of course, our source gracefully avoids settling the absolute, age-old, fiercely debated question of whether the jam or the cream goes on the scone first. Honestly, we are going to have to save that highly contentious issue for a whole other explainer. But it definitively outlines these 3 absolute pillars of the tradition.
So, as we wrap up our analysis for today, I really want to leave you with this one thought-provoking question. How will you observe the many faces of June 26th? Think about what we've covered. We've traveled from the urgent global need to raise awareness about illicit drugs, over to the solemn mandate to speak out against torture, all the way to the joyful, highly specific celebration of scones, clotted cream, and jam. It is just a beautiful, complex, and wild contrasting snapshot of humanity, all packed into one single date on the calendar. I want to thank you so much for exploring this truly unforgettable day with me. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you in the next explainer.